Okay, kitty pies, it's Wednesday, September 25th, 2024, and another update. This will be a short one tonight because I was away for the last 4 days. I'm an auto body tech. I work for a Toyota dealer, and I had auto body school up in Caldwell, New Jersey, and that's where they send all their techs for training. Toyota's a really good company. It's just outside of New York City, so it was about a 3-hour drive. So anyways, I didn't work on this for 4 days, so I came back and thought I'd go over a couple things. But while I was away, I had ordered a part that I couldn't believe they finally are starting to make. It's the tanks for the 56 to 60s. That was the only tank you couldn't get for a Volkswagen, and finally, believe it or not, empty. It was came in an empty box. They're finally starting to repop them now. Very impressed. I opened it up. I was kind of leery. Couldn't believe it. This thing is heavy. I mean, it's the same thickness, if not thicker, than the original. The quality is very good. It looks correct. It's got the right opening. Very nice looking welds around the filler neck here. Got the correct stampings in here. It's even got the correct friction weld along the seam here. Very good, very nice. Notice there was a hole here, but I think that's where they hung it. They hang them to paint them. They said in the ad they're powder coated, but this one isn't powder coated. I think maybe underneath, it looks like somebody had messed up here. They had to sand it out, and I think they just blasted it with some black. You can see right here, a little wavy. I'll fix that with a little body work there. But very good quality. And the one thing I didn't think they would have on it are the dimples here. Now, those tanks had dimples here. Looks just like the original. Very, very impressed. Flip it up underneath the bottom. Comes with a nut. I guess you can run a fuel line directly into it if you need to, but that's where the fuel tap goes. All these tanks I've ever had always rust right around here because the water sits in this little trough down here and probably rusts them out. So, very good. I'm impressed. Nice quality. There's a tiny small dent here, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's up underneath. Once again, you see those welds. They look really nice. It's got the correct curvatures here. Nice and thick. You can tell it feels actually heavier than the one that came out of here, believe it or not. So I'm going to paint this the gray-blue that's supposed to be. If you see a black tank in these, it's usually, from what my research, now you could correct me if I'm wrong, it was a replacement tank. The blue ones were the original ones for these years here. So before I left, somebody on this car loved drilling holes. They put holes everywhere. There was a hole here. There was a couple other holes up in here I repaired. I'm not even sure about this one. This one I'm going to leave. I'm just going to plug that with a rubber plug. You can see here, there's 4 holes here they drilled. I don't know if they put a CB or a radio or something there. I don't know what they did. So there's holes all over this thing I had to fix. It seemed like there was, I bet you I fixed 12 holes in this body that weren't supposed to be there. Somebody went crazy with the drill. Well, they couldn't get the choke in through the tunnel, so they just ran the choke, I think, down through here and through the interior, and they drilled holes in that rear shelf to get the choke cable through there. So what I did here, as you can see here, I didn't weld it because I just don't want to distort the metal. So what I did is I took panel bond, 3M panel bond, 8115, and you have the 2-part mixing gun for this. And you notice here I did is I taped it off here in a little square. You see how I taped around that hole to keep the panel bond in a small area. And what I did is I dabbed some in there, and I took a, well, and then I put some tape under on the backside too. You'll see me, I'll pull it off later. And then I put a dab on there, and I took an auto body spreader and just spread it. And you can see it fills the hole nice. It's nice and hard. I mean, that's very good stuff. You could sand that, and I'll probably do a little bit of body work there and put some primer over it. So there's nothing wrong with using that stuff. So I'll show you here. You can take this here. Now it fully cures in 2 weeks, but it cures hard overnight. Colder temperatures is gonna take longer, of course. See that there? Now I'll just feather out the edges here and feather that in, and I just filled in those holes there. So, and I'll show you in the back side here. That back side there, you just pull that tape off. And you got, if you look up under there, you got a nice clean surface there. So if someone, when you go to paint that, that'll look like there, you won't even see the holes anymore. So once again, I seam sealed the inside, taped everything off. It's better than the original. That's the heavy bodied seam sealer. I just wanted it to look good, even though you're never gonna see that. And I also, up under the tank area here, I seam sealed this bottom lip here to keep moisture out of there. Seam sealed where the heat channel meets the front panel here. And if you look up under there, I seam that seam there, those seams there, the seams up under that front panel, and once again, that seam there, because water could get into here and start causing rust in these areas. So I'm just a weird one about that. I just go through all this work. You want to keep as much water out as possible. So, and this one here has the drain holes, so I'm not too worried about it. Seam sealed here, keep the moisture out of that front apron area. Down in here once again. So let's test fit this gas tank. Let's see if this thing drops in the hole and how it looks. Let me trying to do this while holding my phone. Okay. There it is, looking good. Seems like it fits good. Dropped in with no issues. Okay, you can see there where the tabs, looks like the tabs will be working fine on it. Got the tab there. Nice clearance there for that tab. It's got a little play in the hole, but that's not bad. I'm sure the original has the original play like that too. That tab there for that hole is looking good. So nice square line there. Pretty square there. So nice job, Empy. Nice job. Gone are the days of the rusty tanks. Up underneath. Okay. So I'm going to be running the original fuel tap off of here. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running through the tunnel. I'm going to run 304 grade stainless fuel line. All the lines in the tunnel, I'm going to run 304 stainless. So from this tank all the way back, I'm going to have a new fuel pump on my 36 horse rebuilt carburetor from Volksbits. That Sparkworks guy, he's going to rebuild my fuel pump. So everything from here all the way back to that engine is going to be clean fuel. So Won't be getting any chunks in the carburetor, stopping on the road on the way to events and shows, trying to get the car started. So this should fix all those issues. So once again, there it is. After they never made repop these tanks as far as I know, and they're coming out with some really good stuff for these cars now. Real good quality. I'm impressed. It was got this from J-Bugs. A couple other companies have it. I went with J-Bugs because they had it, and it was free. Well, not free. Well, it was free shipping, but it was $300 and my $10 off. It was $309 out the door, shipped to my door. So I didn't think that was too hateful. And I learned one thing with restoring cars like this. When these things come up like this, you should grab them while they're available. You never know, especially with COVID. You remember things, we couldn't get things. A lot of times they'll stop making these for years, and then restart making them. So I get stuff whenever I can if I see something like this. Even if I got it and I didn't like it, I could always have held on to it or sold it or just used the original. So there it is. Very impressed. It's going to be a nice restoration. Okay, kitty pies.